Whatever stage you're at with your trade, whatever stage you're at with your trading, it's important to stop and gain perspective before planning your next move. Take a break from the charts and join in the discussion with our hosts, Jason Graystone and Akil Stokes, as they share insights, opinions and expertise on all things trading. Grab a coffee, pull up a chair and join the Trader Coffee Break.
Well, this is a great first balls up. Bear with me. I don't know quite what's happened there. Isn't this the way you just test things over and over again and then it falls down?
Of course.
Of course. Bear with me.
It would be weird if it wasn't that way.
Oh man. Hi, Orsi.
Hey,
I can see some people in the chat anyway.
Yep. It's cool that the captions are coming in right away like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know why it isn't switching over to, like, I know I can. Yeah, man, what is up with that? Okay. What we're going to do is we will be right back. Akil, I think we're going to need to just, I need to restart something quick. I'll be back in a second.
Whatever stage you're at with your trading, it's important.
Hey.
There we go. It's all right. We'll go from here.
There we go.
How you going, guys? Let us know if you can hear us okay. That was one of those situations where we tested something 100 times and on the time we needed it to work, it just blew up. But hey ho, we're here now. Hopefully you guys didn't drop off and leave us. But this is a live production now, so welcome to the coffee break. The intro didn't work. We'll see if the outro works at the end, but you're here and that's the main thing. And we're live. So the great thing about this one is we can interact with you guys in the chat in real time, bring you into the discussion, and it's a lot more kind of personal and you feel like you're part of the coffee break as well. So I got my coffee, joined by Akil Stokes. How you doing?
Good. No coffee, but I got this big behemoth. Gallon of water every day.
Wow. Nice.
Inspirational messages that were nice, and I changed them to some more motivational statements. Let's put it that way.
You struggle to drink loads of water, do you?
I don't. Well, I want to drink more, right. And I need. We talk about accountability a lot. I need that accountability, so I would try to go through water bottles, and I just lose track. So it has kind of times on there where it's like, hey, 7 a.m. I need to be here. 8 a.m., 9 a.m. So it's just those little kick in the rear, like, hey, take a sip, get to this level. And that's been extremely helpful. It hasn't been that hard when you have that schedule and that accountability. And I guess it's the same thing we always talk about with trading, just in your regular life as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It gets rough at night. I'll tell you that. It gets the stomach gets a little sloshy. Definitely. How's everyone else doing, by the way? You all have a good Christmas and New Year. Let us know. Mm-hmm. This week, we're going to be talking about market manipulation. And it's a very, very common topic, particularly with newer traders who are a little less informed on how order flow works, markets move, brokers work. And it's kind of
the idea is that someone's out to get you and someone's out to, take your money. And although everyone in the market is out to take your money, I think there's a misunderstanding on how market manipulation is used in that context. And, real market manipulation is basically people hyping up prices, false information, it's basically illegal. It's illegal to do the kind of stuff that's real market manipulation. But what we're going to talk about is what you think market manipulation might be and how it might affect you. So, Akil, you had some great ideas about this. What's the kind of common thought process from traders when it comes to market manipulation?
Well, I think the common thing is a fear, and it's you see this from a lot of new traders, and in general, there's a lot of fear. We've talked about this time and time again, like the fear of money, the fear of success. So people they'll automatically create excuses to keep them from being successful. But I think when it comes to trading, especially to a newer trader who comes into the market where you're going against the best of the best, and usually a newer trader comes in like a gambler, where they've seen a few videos, they come in, they have this feel, they just kind of do stuff, and eventually they're humble. I think the idea is that there is literally someone out there to get them. Meaning like your broker is spying on your order, so it knows exactly where your stop loss is at. So it pushes the market down to your stop loss just to personally take you out. And there's a lot of stuff like that happening. And don't get me wrong, there are days of scammy brokers and stuff like that. There are still brokers that will take positions with you, take positions against you. But I guess the politest way of saying this is you're not so important that your broker has decided to invest their time only watching you to stop your measly position out. That's not true.
They've already built their brokerage system to be the opposite of you anyway. Like they've done their risk management, right? So they're getting paid no matter what. They don't really care if you win or lose. Like they just want to keep you taking trades. Exactly.
But I think, and someone just mentioned this in the chat, if you're predictable, you fall at risk. And we were talking earlier, I think that's more of the theme where it's like, if you want to separate it from, smart money, insiders, whatever you want to call it, and this is where, maybe you define as manipulation, maybe you don't, their job is to make money. And they know they can make money because the market moves mainly off of crowd psychology. So they know the actions that most people and most dumb or undereducated traders are taking. And they will do stuff in kind of the routine of how they establish positions to skunk you out if you have certain orders in predictable places. And I guess the question is like, is that manipulation, or is that just you putting yourself in a bad position to be taken advantage of? And I think that's always I guess it comes down to semantics, but it's always an interesting topic to discuss, which is why I want to bring it here.
It really is. And I think it's a big learning curve as well. It's like when you go to the casino, it's kind of like blaming the casino. No one blames the casino. They're just like, oh, I lost my money, fair play. But really, it's the same thing. They've got their business model in a way that they get paid no matter what. And that's the same as trading in the markets, doing any kind of, any kind of speculation is going to require you to develop a skill that levels up to understand how you beat the odds of whatever's against you. And that's called an edge. And I think the other reason that people like to go into this idea of market manipulation is because it's another one of those things that gives you an excuse that it's not you. So in trading, it is literally just you. And it's just another thing that you can go, oh yeah, but it's market manipulation. That's why I didn't do very well. And it's not true. And I think it's very fixed mindset to think that way. Funnily enough, we're reading a book by Carol Dweck. I've read this book called Mindset about 6 times now, and we're reading it again because we're doing this book club. She talks about fixed mindset and growth mindset, and funnily enough, one of the kind of case studies she gives in the book is about John McEnroe, the Wimbledon tennis player, having a fixed mindset because every time he lost, it was never his fault. And it turns out he just hated tennis. Like he was pushed into tennis. He didn't want to do tennis. And he's got a very fixed mindset to do with tennis because he's got this kind of pressure on him to do well. So when he fails and he doesn't really want to do it anyway, he starts looking for excuses and reasons why. And I think we see that a lot in traders. I don't know about you, Akil.
Yeah, most definitely. I think, there's two paths you can take. Right? I think we're all going to get to that point in our trading career where we struggle. Something's not going to work. We get hit with the humble pie where it's like, we have to make a decision. I mean, trading anything in life, but we have to make a decision where it's like, what I'm currently doing isn't working. And I have two choices, right? I can spend a massive amount of energy making excuses and end up trying different things that ultimately lands me in the same situation. Or I can take that energy and focus and find a way to get better and improve. And I think that's that key fork in the road when it comes to the manipulation thing, where it's like, again, if we can call it manipulation because, yes, smart money insiders, they are moving the markets, they are controlling things, but it's not necessarily in a negative way where you can't win. So you have to make the decision. Are you going to be the victim that consistently, that they take advantage of on a consistent basis? Or are you going to improve and grow and get yourself to the point where you are the victor, where you understand how smart money, how insiders work? And now all of a sudden you position yourself where A, you don't get caught in those sneaky situations as much, but B, you can understand the patterns they're creating, the patterns they're looking at, and you could be a part of that ride, right? What we always talk about in our live trading room, I say it's like, we're like a fly on the elephant's tail. If you think of smart money or insiders as being the elephant, they're the big thing that's going to move, right? We're just hovering around the tail, waiting for it to move, and then boom, we're going with it for the ride. So I think a lot of it is understanding our role. Our job isn't necessarily to beat smart money or insiders. That's not going to happen. No. But we want to participate with them and take advantage of the moves that they make and avoid the traps that are set for us.
Absolutely. And that's a great point. And we always talk about, thinking like the other trader, and that's essentially the skill you want to develop. And that's what's going to get you out of this idea that there's market manipulation, because let's talk about what might happen to make someone think there's market manipulation going on. And this is essentially what happens. If you're looking at a trend trade and you're trying to catch a trend, so you're waiting for the pullback, what you're looking at is essentially a cluster of buy orders at different areas somewhere in that pullback, because the markets are very, very subjective. Everyone's got a different idea at where they want to get in and what structure is, and there's going to be a cluster of orders. There's going to be a lot of different buy orders, but at different levels. And potentially, the further the market dips, the more buy orders are going to be triggered, because if there's counter trend traders who are already short, they're going to have buy orders down here where they take in their profit. If they're a trend trader, they're going to have buy orders down here where they're looking to catch the ride. So what happens is you see this kind of dip into that zone, and then all of the buy orders start to trigger, and then you see that acceleration of price. Now, that happens all over the markets. And I think where people think it's market manipulation is when a lot of orders are taken out very quickly and we see some kind of spike. Is that fair to say, Akil? That's kind of what I think traders are doing.
Yeah, I think back to one of the biggest mistakes I used to make, and probably one of the biggest mistakes we see a lot of traders make is, let's pretend you're trading, you're looking to buy at a previous level of support, right? You find whatever reason to buy, and then you go ahead and put that stop loss, like one pip underneath that level. Yeah. And then you wake up or you come back a few hours later, you see that there's a candle that pushed down, spiked you out, and then rallied the opposite direction. And people it was manipulated. I was taken out. The broker knew my order was right there. And again, it's not the broker. It goes back to doing smart things in the market. Yeah. And everyone's going to do it at first. The thing is, you want to learn from your behaviors. And this goes back to evaluation and learning from your mistakes. But if I know that there's going to be a bunch of rookie traders putting stop loss orders right below there, and it, Jason, do you think the best and the brightest in the industry don't know it as well?
Exactly.
Like, of course they do. Yeah. So we can't be that predictable, but you see that because, you know, people are, they don't want to risk a lot, or they're just lazy. They never tested any type of stop loss. If they've done back testing, they'd see that it was a bad idea. They need to give themselves a little bit more breathing room. But again, it's, you know, it all depends on you. I think at some point you're going to get caught up in that jazz. And the question is going to be, again, fixed or growth mindset. Are you going to complain, or are you going to learn from it? Yeah. Are you going to talk to more experienced traders and ask them questions and learn from their mistakes so that you don't have to make them as much? And I think that's the key for new traders. Like, where is complaining going to get you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what is it going to do for you? Is it going to make you a better trader?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not. And I guess the question is then, aside from, you know, don't beat yourself up and try and learn from it, what are some of the things that people can do to start really getting on that higher probability side of the markets, where they can pick higher quality trades and not be victim of being stopped out too early and all that jazz?
Well, I think one major thing is you have to rely on a solid rules-based trading plan. And, you know, we know smart money, they know insiders, they know, everyone knows that a lot of traders that aren't, you know, treating it like a profession, they're basing a lot of their decisions off of really emotion, so greed and fear. And one of the biggest times that we see people kind of get skunked out of the market is during high impact financial news events. So, you know, for example, if there's a non-farms coming out and the market automatically jumps like 50 pips bullish, right? What can we assume that a lot of these rookie traders, these gamblers are doing, right? They're probably hopping in late because they're seeing the move. They're, oh, I missed out on it. Oh, this is the move. They're getting in late. And you have to remember that a lot of these high impact news events, these are just created for smart money to kind of take advantage of people doing dumb things. And if you are late to the move, you are going to be taken advantage of. So I think the first thing is to kind of stop the emotional stuff, stop the stuff that isn't in your trading plan, stop the stuff that is fear and greed related, because a lot of the manipulation is going to come, it's going to be triggered off of fear and greed type of situation. So if you can stop that type of stuff, that's going to be the biggest win for you. What else would you add to that, Jason?
I would have said exactly that. I think that is the key. And when you talk about fear and greed, it kind of links into what real market manipulation is and what to be wary of. In fact, if I just literally pull up, you know, what is market manipulation? Here we go. Market manipulation is the attempt to artificially increase or decrease the price of a security. And it is artificial because the manipulator is attempting to skew supply and demand to push the price in a favorable direction for them. So there's lots of this going on at the moment all over the place. There's people hyping up things left, right, and center. And I do think it would be nice just to end on a kind of warning note here for you guys, because you're here learning, and the last thing we want you to do is give away unnecessary money to the markets. I've had tons of people contact me saying, have you got this fake account, that fake account? And there are literally fake accounts of me and Akil doing market manipulation. They're hyping up something that doesn't exist and getting people to invest in it. And I just want to say, if you're ever contacted by anyone, any other account other than the two in this description of this video, they are not us.
Run away as fast as you can.
Report them, block them. Yes. You don't even need to send them to us. We know there's lots of them. We appreciate everything you do to block them and get rid of them, but unfortunately that's going on. So I think that's it. I think I'd love to hear your stories about market manipulation, whether you thought it was once and what you've learned from it, and now you understand that it wasn't actually market manipulation, or any other horror stories that you've got. I'd love to hear those in the comments. Let us know what you think about this setup. We're looking to run these things live every week now. Hopefully I can get the introduction working next week. But I think that's it. Akil, anything to add?
No, it's good to be back. I
Yeah.
think we're just going to get better and better at the live format as we continue to break stuff until it can't be broken anymore. Typically, typically how it goes, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, we'll make sure these things get better and better. And if you guys have got any topics that you want to see on the channel, please feel free to add those in. And yeah, that's it. Until next week, take care. Remember that do less to do more sometimes. Think about stuff. And until then, take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you then.